Hi everyone, and welcome to our June webinar, which is going to be all about trusted travel. Now, the trusted travel campaign is something that we've put together at Travel Counsellors, which really focuses on our 5 pillars that are the most important thing to us as a business and for our customers. So we're going to have a look at a few videos today that will show you those 5 pillars. But just before we start, or as we start, they are: it's personal, we're always here, what's right for you, you'll hear it firsthand, and you're protected. So throughout the webinar we will talk in a little bit more detail about those 5 pillars, but we will also run through some videos that show you those things. So if we could just play the first video.
Our travel counsellors take their time to get to know you, going above and beyond to deliver service that exceed expectations, and adding special little touches to make your trip truly memorable. That's why a world-leading 96% of our customers would recommend us to family and friends. Travel Counsellors. With us, it's personal.
So that little video was It's Personal, and it does cover off a couple of things that are very important to us. Obviously our NPS score is mentioned a lot, and we will go into a little bit more further detail about that, but what is important to us is the fact that it is a personal experience, and there are a number of stories that we could tell about travel counsellors going above and beyond to help their customers. You know, even today I was reading some of our message boards, and there was little suggestions like whenever you have a solo traveller, to give them a selfie stick. There's a beautiful story that I love, and I tell quite often about a little Australian boy losing his teddy bear in the Dubai airport, and one of the BDs actually in our UAE office went down to the airport, found the teddy bear and sent him back to Australia. But before she did that, she took photos of him around Dubai, local landmarks, and told the little boy that that he wasn't lost, that he just had a really lovely holiday for a couple of days while he was missing. So little stories like that about going above and beyond. But the most important thing there is the NPS score and what that is. So NPS, for those of you who don't know, is a measure of customer loyalty. And companies like Apple, Qantas, Telstra, Johnson & Johnson, big companies use it to understand why their customers do and or don't come back and repeat business with them. So I think I've just got a little bit of a slide here to talk about why. So I guess these are travel companies, which will mean to you in the travel industry things about that and where their scores sit. So as we said, Travel Counsellors score is now officially the highest company score in the world of 95%, and that was fully accredited last week. But to give you an idea, Orbitz is 20%, Hotels.com 46%, TUI 45%, Google 53%, and we all know that we love Google, and Travel Counsellors, as we said, is 95%, so pretty unheard of, but something that we're really, really proud of and something that we will continue to grow. So, you know, companies like Apple at 71%. Now, we all know about the customer experience when we go into an Apple store, and they're at 71%, and we at Travel Counsellors are at 95%. But just to explain a little bit further NPS for those who haven't used it or haven't worked in companies where it's important, we've just got another little bit of a video to explain NPS a little bit clearer, hopefully. Excuse the American accent, but you will get the idea.
We talk about Net Promoter a lot here at Satmetrics. After all, we are one of the creators of Net Promoter, and we wrote the book. Net Promoter is the gold standard for businesses that want to transform customer experience into profitable growth. Some think it's a metric, but it's really an entire way of doing business. And it's quite simple. So simple, in fact, that our friend David Mitzenmacher drew it on a napkin. Step 1. Survey your customers to find out who is happy and who isn't. Ask them the ultimate question. How likely is it that you would recommend our company to a colleague or friend? They'll answer on a scale of 0 to 10. 9s and 10s are your promoters. They love your company and they'll tell their friends. 7s and 8s are your passives. They're meh, neither here nor there, susceptible to switching to competitors. 0 to 6, they're your detractors, most likely not going to repurchase your product or service, and worse, tell others not to. They're a biz crusher.
I think, you know, in explaining what NPS is, we do understand that it is customer loyalty. One question is asked of every customer, which is basically, would you refer this company to your family, friends and colleagues after the experience that you've had? And each client rates that from 1 to 10. So we're getting an average of a 9.6, which is phenomenal, and really shows that we are all about the customer service, and we've had that, you know, proven and accredited by some very important companies, which is great. So moving on from It's Personal, we're going to look at the next pillar, which is We're Always Here.
Not having anyone to turn to when you're away from home can be scary. But book with us and you can take comfort that there's always help at hand. We have a 24/7 duty office in 7 countries, giving you around-the-clock support. Travel counsellors. With us, it's personal.
To touch on the pillar of We're Always Here, that's talking about our 24/7 availability, both to your clients through emergency lines, but also to you as an agent through our global head offices, and there always being someone there to help you and assist you in assisting your clients. But more importantly, We're Always Here for you is about our duty office, which is a team of people who work 24/7 around the clock to monitor what's happening around the world through news feeds. Now, that might be something as simple as, you know, train delays due to ice in the Alps, or a baggage handler strike, which might just mean that your clients need to get to the airport a little bit sooner. Now, for those, you know, of us sitting here in Melbourne, that's not a massive issue if you hear about a Greek baggage handler strike. But, you know, if your client's flying out of Athens Airport or something like that, that's something that will impact their holiday, and for you to be able to give them that information is again going above and beyond for service. But the duty office also deals with crises and things around the world. Now, we've heard some horrible things going on around the world lately, you know, especially in Orlando. But you hear stories about those shootings, and our duty office is 100% onto it, running reports as soon as those news reports come in to see if we have any clients travelling in those areas. Now, if we do, they then communicate with the travel counsellor and go into, I guess, the mode of making sure that everyone's safe, but also in that aspect, you know, making sure that if they need new hotels, if they need, if they need to be put on different flights, all of those kind of things that can happen, we've got a team of people that are doing that for you. So now, I've also just realised that I was quite remiss at the start, and I didn't mention that if you do want to contact us tonight, you can give us a call on 1300 889 123, either during the show, or, to be honest, you can call us at any time on that number if you have any questions. But you can also email any questions that you might have to connect@travelcounsellors.com.au as well. Alright, well, now that the videos are working, we're going to go thick and fast and keep going with them. So the next one is What's Right for You.
It pays to be independent. Many travel companies sell the product that's right for them. We make a promise to sell what is only right for you. We have access to thousands of suppliers and products globally, and have developed a cutting-edge booking system, so we can tailor the perfect trip for you at the most competitive price. Travel counsellors. With us, it's personal.
So I guess the crux of What's Right for You is all about the fact that we're an independent company and we're not bound to sell certain product, and nor are our agents. We do have really strong supplier relationships, so please don't think that we're independent and rogue and no one works with us. We do have really strong relationships with suppliers in the industry, but we also have the ability to completely put together tailored and bespoke itineraries based on what's right for your customer. Now, that can be through a DMC, it can be with booking with a supplier. If they want to go on an APT cruise, that's okay, but you might want to be able to tailor that together with some really beautiful hotels or properties along the way, and some other things. So what we can do, or what our Phoenix system can do, and you as the travel counsellor, is be 100% booking what's right for your client, which is something as an independent agency we're able to do, and that you're able to do for your client, again with service and all of those kind of things, but it's about it being right for your customer and still being very competitive in the market as well. So, number 4, as we keep rolling with the videos, is you'll hear it firsthand.
It's always great to hear about a travel destination from someone who has actually been there. Our 1,500 travel counsellors around the globe are available to provide first-hand feedback. Plus, we have thousands of reviews and personal insights from agents and customers, giving you a clear picture of a place before you book. Travel counsellors. With us, it's personal.
So that one, I guess, was talking about how we use the experience of our over 1,500 travel counsellors around the world to find out stuff firsthand. You know, has someone been to a certain hotel? Has someone stayed or gone on a certain city tour? You know, would someone recommend a certain part of a city over another part of the city? And the community that Travel Counsellors is allows you to have access to that as an agent. We are all about the sharing of knowledge and the gathering of knowledge and passing that on to the client, whoever that may be for, kind of like a warm TC hug, I guess, as part of the community. But what and how that happens is facilitated is obviously via our intranet. We do a lot of message boards, but we also have a lot of cluster meetings. We constantly have travel counsellors interacting with each other. Even though they're working from home and running their own businesses, they are very much part of the TC community. And that obviously can be passed on to your clients when you need a little bit of advice about somewhere that you might not have been, but also where you can perhaps give some advice for somewhere that you have been, essentially making you an expert in every single destination that all 1,500 of your colleagues have been in, which is fabulous for your client. Now, the last video we're going to show is You're Protected.
It can be hard to know what is and what isn't financially protected when booking a trip away. But we make it easy. With us, your money is completely safe. No ifs, no buts. Travel counsellors. With us, it's personal.
Now, You're Protected is quite an important one, especially with the news stories or the spate, I guess, of what we would say dodgy agents around stealing clients' money, running away to different countries. You know, you hear horror stories of people arriving at the airports and there not being any flights booked in their names, all of that kind of stuff. And I think there's been 4 or 5 cases in the courts in Australia in the last few months. But what you can 100% be 100% trust, and your client can, is that when you book with travel counsellors, your money is 100% financially protected. Now, we've set up certain ways of making sure that happens. Monies are paid into a trust fund that neither we can access, no one in the business can access, but also that we then look at paying the suppliers after the client has commenced travel. So if for any reason they become financially unviable, you know, an airline goes bankrupt or a property is no longer ceases to trade, we have your client's money to be able to rebook their holiday for them because it's sitting in a trust fund. We also have some other ways of paying and things like that, but one thing you can 100% assure your customer is that when they book with you as a travel counsellor, that their money is always financially protected, which is very, very important. So as I said at the start, it was really about us talking to you about why we are one of the most loved travel companies in the world and why our clients continually come back and book with us through that repeat referral scheme, and also why our NPS score is the highest in the world. Now, that's actually really huge. So if you guys are struggling or not really understanding what NPS means, I would encourage you to do a little bit of research and understand how big a selling point or how important that is to you when you're talking to clients about your customer service and your personalization as well. So that's kind of that's it for us today. It was a quick one, but a very important one that covered quite a few points about who we are as travel counsellors and why your clients will want to book with you when you're a travel counsellor. But as always, if you have any further questions or would like any clarification on anything, please feel free to give us a buzz, 1300 889 123, and you can use that number at any time. That's just not a specific one for the webinar. Or you can send us an email at connect@travelcounsellors.com and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. But signing off from a very cold and wet Melbourne. Hopefully it's a little bit warmer wherever you're watching. But thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next month.